Brothers and sisters, on this 21st anniversary celebration, Jesus is still saying, He has anointed me and sent me to heal the brokenhearted. On this commemorative worship for Pastor Darrell and Reverend Vanessa Ward and their family, I've come and I submit that all over America, particularly in this time and season, somebody needs to hear. Jesus said, He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted. Now, Luke puts it this way. He said Jesus went to Nazareth. He went back home to Nazareth. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue. The synagogue was an experience that had been birthed during the Israel exile, the time when the people were in the exile. They desired to have something familiar to them that was similar to the temple back in Jerusalem, so they created the synagogue. When God delivered them from the exile, they brought the synagogue experience back to the homeland. And Luke informs us, as the custom was for Jesus, upon his return, his visit to Nazareth, went into the synagogue. In everyday parlance, or in Omegan vernacular, we would be able to say Jesus was used to going to church. Jesus was accustomed to worshiping God. Now, in the synagogue, a visitor or stranger, if they deemed that person to be worthy, was asked to stand up and read something from the law or the prophets, and then to comment on what was read. On this particular visit to the synagogue at Nazareth, somebody there deemed Jesus worthy, and he stood up and he was handed a parchment that contained the scroll of Isaiah chapter 61. And of the words that Jesus read that day, it is what we have lifted here over this celebration that has become our focus for this celebration. And that is that Jesus wanted them to know. I don't care, Pastor Ward, that the scholars have left it out of all these modern translations. If Isaiah had it and Jesus preached it, then it's still relevant for a relevant ministry of the 21st century. Jesus said, I have been sent to heal the brokenhearted. Now, Isaiah did not have that English word brokenhearted. That's not what was in the scroll. What was there was what we can understand today as the shofar. That's the word that was there, the shofar. Jesus said, I have been sent to heal the shofar. When Isaiah looked at the exiles, he did not see blessed Israel. What he saw was the shofar. And what the shofar means is people who are depressed, disconnected, people who are marginalized, people who feel hopeless, people who are hurt, people who feel abused and misused, people who have been taken advantage of, people who have been walked over, people who have been talked about, people who don't have a sense of direction, people who don't know what tomorrow will bring. This is what Isaiah meant when he said the Shobar. He meant that these folk didn't look like blessed Israel. They looked like a God-forsaken people. Well, let me put it like this. The picture that we need to have in our mind this morning in Omega is that someone opened a can of food and immediately they were confronted by a putrid smell of something rotten. The label on the can said fresh, but the contents were spoiled. The label on Israel said blessed, but on the inside, they were rotten. They were spoiled. Oh, let me put it where somebody can touch it. The label says member Omega. The label says Christian. The label says child of God. But on the inside, you're turning over and over and over and over, because even though on the outside it looks like everything is all right, on the inside your heart is messed up, because when you look around and see all of the mess that's going on in the world, you wonder how in the world can you make it another day? Well, the good news is Jesus is still saying, I have been sent to heal the brokenhearted. Brothers and sisters, when God anointed Jesus to preach and to proclaim the good news, Jesus, he did what any good minister does. I'm certain that Pastor Durrell and Reverend Vanessa have done this throughout their ministry. Even though you have the anointing to preach, you also have to be able to discern what's in folk. You know, I thank God I was one of your pastors, students over there, United Theological Seminary, and he gave to us, along with the other professors and, other folk over there who were running our lives for 3 years, gave us a lot of books to read. But when folks are hurting, it's not what's in the books. It's what's in the folk. And a good minister can discern that. A good preacher can discern that I'm just not coming here on Sunday morning delivering a word. If folk are hurting, I need to give to them some kind of hope. I need to let them know that even though it's dark right now, there is a bright side somewhere. Even though they may have told you that you can't make it, there's a God who says that you can make it if you hold on to God's hand. Am I talking to anybody in here? There is a God that says, regardless of what goes on in the world, God still has the world in his hand. I wish I was talking to somebody in my neighborhood. God can make it. God can help you make it if you put your trust and confidence in God. God will make everything all right. Jesus looked at the scroll and saw Shobar. Shobar described the condition of the folk in exile. But the exile that they were in was a physical exile. They were separated from the homeland. But when Jesus showed up for his public ministry, the folks were still in exile. Spiritual